Hey guys, I'm Catherine McCord from Weelicious. I am so excited to be here for this cook-along today. It's like a Weelicious style cook-along. We're gonna be making school lunches. This is like school lunch 101. I'm gonna share all of my tips and tricks and fun ideas that I've been using on my 3 kids for years and years. It is all time tested. You guys sent in incredible questions. My friend producer Jeff is here. He's going to be giving them to me so that I can answer them throughout while we're cooking, because theirs is going to be a lot of fun. As I said, I have 3 kids. One is a vegetarian, so he is all vegetable all the time. My middle daughter is a total carnivore, so we're sliding in some meat here today that I'm going to tell you about. And my 3rd child, she's like, will eat absolutely everything. So there's a little bit for any one of your children, no matter what. So we're gonna start with some grilled pizza roll-ups. These are a ton of fun. I'm not sure if you've ever tried these. Have you ever tried a grilled pizza roll-up? They're something that I like to make when I can't find any pizza dough in my refrigerator. And why not just grab some sandwich bread? It's a perfect kind of swap for your pizza dough. Rolling pin, not just for sugar cookies at Christmas, I promise. This is the real tip and trick to making our pizza roll-ups. So get some elbow grease in there, get your kids in there. I should really call one of my kids in to be cooking with me today, because we are doing a cook-along, but they get to see me do this all day, every day. And I get them involved too. My older kids, my 2 older kids are 13 and 15, and I've totally gotten them in on the act of cooking their own lunches as often as possible. But it's fun because over the years, I've learned their favorite things. Even when they're at school, I always get the comment of they'll come home and be like, Teddy wants to know how you got this or how you decided to make this. And his mom's going to text you or email you later for the recipe. So, beware. Grilled pizza roll-up texts are coming for you. Just watch out. So this is just regular sandwich bread. I like to cut off the crust just because it makes it a little bit easier rolling up. But if you want to keep the crust on, you can. You can use white bread, wheat bread. Doesn't matter to me. It's what you guys like and want to make. And this has also got a really fun dip with it, which we'll get to, because I'm going to bet you have this dip in your refrigerator already. I went to my local Albertsons, which is literally a tennis ball throw from my house, and I got everything for the cook-along today. All right, so we have rolled out our bread. I'm going to start my little grill pan. I have this little fun situation here because it makes it a little bit easier as we're cooking, because it's right here. It's not behind me. But we're gonna go back there. Ooh, actually, you know what we have to do? Corn. Corn is going in the pot just for a few minutes. I'm gonna actually show you guys 2 ways, corn 2 ways in the lunches today. So I'm cooking 2, one for now, one for later. Follow along, because if you stay tuned, you're gonna see a little hack in there. All right, so now we've got our bread. We're gonna put in a cheese stick. I feel like am I right? Does every kid love cheese sticks? My husband loves cheese sticks too. He's the big kid in our family. Whenever he wants a snack, he's like, where are the cheese sticks? I'm like, those are for the kids. He's like, okay, all right. So I give him a cheese stick too. Here, I'll put him right back here. So just unroll your little cheese stick, number 1. Look how easy this is. I mean, this is the simplest of recipes. It's just as much an idea as it is a recipe. And then we're gonna put them right in. And then one of the tricks here, there's a few tricks here. So we wanna tightly roll this, and just tight, roll, okay? And what's great about this nice soft, if you have really good fresh bread, then it's even easier. You can just press it, right, like that, and just put that seam side down. And then we're gonna do the same thing over here. Just roll. My pan's getting nice and warm. And I'm going to show you what we're going to do here. My pan, how's this looking? Oh, this is good. Perfect. So I've got a little knob of butter here. And this is, believe it or not, the glue for this recipe. What? How is it the glue? Watch. Put them seam side down. Very important for this recipe. Seam side down, because that butter is going to help to adhere. All right, I don't want to cook it too fast. I'm going to turn my heat down. Kind of like a low to medium heat. You don't want it to burn, but you definitely want it to like stick. All right, is it sticking? Is it sticking? It's sticking. Okay. Stay there. That's what I'm talking about. And this is the most of unexpected recipes. Trust me, your kids are not going to be like, oh, there's pizza, grilled pizza roll-ups in my lunch. Like, no, this is not your average sandwich. This is 2.0, I promise. We want to always add all kinds of things into our lunches. So this is a container I've got. When I get my blueberries from my Albertsons, I put a piece of paper towel at the bottom and I put my berries in here. And what it's going to do is keep your berries fresher longer, because it's going to just absorb any kind of moisture. So I just washed these. So I'm going to put some blueberries. And then I always love that raspberry containers, like if you wash them and you shake them, the water comes right out. So I have these like beautifully washed fresh raspberries. And again, you're going to hear me say this time and time again, color, texture, like having just, and nutrition. So raspberries, I don't know if you knew this, raspberries have more fiber cup for cup than any other fruit. So we put lots of raspberries, good fiber for your kids. All right, I'm gonna put some more blueberries. So you get that like nice action. See what I'm talking about? Like red and blue. It's just like really beautiful pops. And kids, when they eat, they love like being able to take use their hands, like a bite of this, a bite of that. Sometimes when food is just like too big and overwhelming, they're like, like sometimes for especially younger kids, like a big sandwich is like, it's just overwhelming. So having like little bites, especially like these roll-ups, oh my God, I did it perfect. You never know. Things can go awry. But look at this. See, I want to show you guys that. You see that color I'm talking about? That's the color we're looking for. And I'm actually just going to put just a little more butter, because it'll help with keep them nice and crunchy on the outside and nice and golden. All right, so a little bit of butter. Okay. Just because we want to cook them about 2 minutes on that seam side, that first time we did it. And then we're going to cook them another minute or two on each side until they're nice and golden, just that like almost like a grill. So like those nice grill marks. And then we've got some baby carrots. Again, color. Baby carrots, the organics baby carrots are amazing because they're just like come in these beautiful colors, a little white, little yellow, little orange, little red, super crunchy, all that beta carotene that your kids need. I love it. I love it in every single bite. My youngest is like, she would be happy if I put carrots in her lunch every single day. I like always try to look around for like just the perfect. Okay, that's good. What do we think about that? All right, I think that's good times. Ooh, I can smell. When you're like cooking and you're like, I can smell the good stuff. It's always that moment you know it. Ooh, look at that, perfect golden. That's what I'm talking about. And I like to I'm gonna try if they'll stand on their little, there we go. Get a little more butter. There we go. Just wiggle them around in your pan. There we go. And I'll even take a little bit more. Butter is flavor. We love that flavor. All right. Okay, got that. Next up is celery. So I keep jars of celery in the refrigerator like this in water. It keeps it nice and crisp and fresh for days. And my middle daughter is like a celery fanatic. She's like always wants celery. So she'll just come from school and grab some celery because it's already cut. She doesn't have to wash it. So it's just like that. And then I'll cut this in to put in the middle of the lunchbox. So when you looking for lunchboxes, I should say, it's great to have a bento style lunchbox because your kid can open their lunchbox after you've made a homemade lunch for them and they see all of their choices. So, as sometimes I think that adults eat just to like eat, where kids are like, oh, like they see their friends eating fruits or vegetables, so then they have the choice and they'll be like, oh, my buddy over here is eating fruit. What do I have in my lunchbox? Like, oh, so we want to make sure that you get a little bit of everything and it's like there's a lot of eye appeal within that. So celery, because we want a little bit of green in there. So that's our green. We're gonna turn our pizza roll-ups one more time. Oh my God, they are perfect. Gosh, it's like one of those days where you're just happy that everything turned right. And our cheese inside of them, I'm gonna actually turn it down so I'll keep it going there. But our cheese will just start to get a little bit melty. We don't want it like oozing out, and that bread is that perfect thickness to keep the cheese just right. So you'll see when I cut them, they're like magic. Now, our corn is ready. So I always think that people cook corn, like we'll just, my mother, sorry Mom, I didn't, not throwing you under the bus here, but would cook corn for like 12, 15 minutes until it was like bright orange and even a little brown. You saw like 1-2 minutes. Corn should just be so that it's so nice when you bite into it. It has that little snap. We want the snap in our corn when we're eating it. So I did, again, kids come up with the best ideas. I cut these years ago off the cob. I had all this corn that I had bought, and I realized that if I cut it, my son didn't want to eat it off the ear. It was too much for him. So I started cutting it into these planks, which I'm going to show you. And he was like, those are corn sheets. I was like, corn sheets? What are corn sheets? So he came up with the name for this. All right, now, so we'll get to that in 2 seconds because it's a little bit, it's like a hot corn potato. So we're going to just let those cool for just a second while I cut my pizza roll-ups. So we're going to cut them in half first. And you can use a knife, get a serrated knife for this because it's definitely going to help you. Oh, they're so pretty. And we're going to cut them into 1-inch pieces. And just press down as you're cutting them. You know what the best part of pizza? Yes, I know, the crust and the cheese is awesome. But for me, the best part is the tomato sauce. I love the tomato sauce on the pizza. I am that person who actually orders double tomato sauce on pizza. I've got Prego traditional Italian sauce here. So see what I mean? We have pizza. We have mozzarella cheese. We have our bread, which is our dough here. And we have sauce, because what do kids love? They love dipping. Anything that is dipping is already more fun in a lunchbox. So we're gonna pour it in just like this. You don't even need to warm it up. Look how gorgeous, it's so beautiful. And it's got lots of flavor. It's got those fresh herbs in there. So it's ready to go. You didn't even need to cook it. Put it right in the lunchbox like this. And then turn these little beauties, look at that. Golden, that mozzarella is nice and soft in there, and just line them right up. Because it's almost like, do I say pizza sushi? Just saying. Just line them up right in there. How's it going over there, Jeff?
It's going good. I have some questions for you.
You have questions for
me? I do.
This is like being in school. Oh God, there's so much pressure. Okay, throw a question.
Okay, so Amy, who shops at Safeway in Denver.
Smart lady.
Asks, my kids live off of snacks. What are some of your favorite healthy go-to snacks?
Oh my God, kids and snacks, it is such a real thing. That's what I was talking about, Amy, that's why I've started, I wash grapes, celery, carrots, keep everything. So I always say, put them in your refrigerator so that they can see them. Even get your kids to show them in the refrigerator where they are. The cheese sticks are a big one. And then even in my pantry, I have glass jars, which are lined up with snacks. So I do dried fruits. My kids love nuts, so pistachios and almonds and walnuts, so that they're getting, all those kind of protein and things that aren't gonna overly fill them up, because I also know that kids come home at 3, 4 o'clock, and I swear when I look at my kids, it's almost like they're lions and tigers. They're "Rah!" They're angry and overwhelmed and just need some sustenance. I also take smoothies, and I make smoothie popsicles often. So if I make smoothies for breakfast and they maybe don't finish their smoothie, I just pour the rest into a smoothie popsicle so they still finish it by the end of the day. So, those are all little good ones, because we're just trying to keep them full and have their little bellies happy, but not overly full We want them to get to dinner because that's like the main event. Oh, and yogurt. We do a lot of yogurt in our house with like fresh berries. Okay, are you seeing what's happening here? Is this like the cutest thing ever? I love it, I love it. And then we're gonna take a serrated knife and, oh, much better, much better. Okay, I'm not gonna end up with like big burn marks on my hand. So then I take my sharp knife. I'm gonna show you how I do this. You do wanna cut it really close to the cob, because if you don't, then it won't stick together. By the way, if it doesn't stick together, it's still going in. But the corn sheets, oh yeah, here we go. Okay, see, cut around it. My son, the corn sheet machine. Okay, so it will, as it cools, as the corn cools, it will even adhere together more. But that's what I'm talking about. And just put our little sheets right in there. And you can put all the extra little pieces too. But you know, you get like, see what I'm talking about with like the color? So we have red, we have green, we have blue, we have like all orange, like all the colors represented in here. Ooh, I'm gonna save this for, I'm onto something. I'm not even telling you, because I want to make sure you're like fully intrigued as you see this. Okay, a little bit more corn sheets, and then we're gonna move on, because as I said, we are not doing one, we are not doing two, we are doing 3 recipes today, 3 full lunches. All right, number 1 is in, and I'm telling you, you know the best part about this? I'm making my children their lunches for tomorrow, so thanks for being here. All right, while I'm kind of like cleaning this up, Jeff, what else you got?
Yeah, we got Julie in San Diego.
Hi, Julie.
Sent in a question.
Okay.
You could relate to, I'm sure.
Oh, really? Oh, now I'm intrigued. Okay.
I have one child who is vegetarian, whereas the others are not. How do you handle various dietary preferences within the family?
Yeah, so we do a lot of what I call DIY dinners. So I will, let's say it's burritos or tacos or fajitas or pasta. I will put out a bunch of different foods that are all like really simple and easy, and I'll let the kids kind of make their own DIY situation. So let's say we decide to do turkey tacos. I'll cook some turkey meat, I'll do some cheese and guacamole and salsa, some sauteed onions, and I'll let the kids like build their own tacos the way that they want them, so that no one feels like alienated if they're vegetarian or vegan or they are dairy free or whatever it is, but everyone is sated, totally satisfied. Jeff and I actually talked about one. I'm giving away one of Jeff's top secrets too, because he was suggesting and saying, and I do this in another way also, anytime you make like a kind of grilled chicken, let's say, and you're putting like a marinade or a seasoning, just sub some of that mixture, like the seasoning or the kind of marinade, for tofu, because the tofu will absorb all those delicious flavors and you're already cooking it, so everybody is satisfied. It works perfectly. All right, lunch number 1, I'm gonna just squeeze right over there, put that to the side, and we're gonna move into lunch number 2. This is a really fun one that we've made for years and years, because as I've always liked to say, I need my grill again. Everything, maybe you've heard this before, everything tastes better on a stick. That is like a motto in our family. So I'm gonna start immediately. You're like, what? Wait, what are we doing? I said everything's on a stick, and about to pull out the bacon. So I've got the Oscar Mayer center cut bacon. I love the smell of bacon. My whole house is just gonna be complete with absolute delicious bacon. This is like in the morning, if I make bacon, my daughters will like, is there bacon? Someone just cooked bacon? It's like the best thing in the world. Ooh, look, my pan was already hot, so didn't have to even clean it out. It's just gonna get that nice little sizzle. I think we only need 2 pieces. We're gonna do 2 pieces of bacon here. Don't need much, although I really, truth be told, I should cook some more bacon, because Lord knows they're gonna want some more later. All right, put that there. And while our bacon is cooking, we're gonna start pulling out the sticks. So I have these cute little sticks. If you have like skewers, if they're too long, you could take some scissors and kind of just cut them, because you wanna make sure that they fit into your lunchbox. This is a real like building situation. So I've got, like, we're doing like a kind of a club sandwich, a little BLT, a little bit of club, call it whatever you want. Let me get some bread, some lettuce, because, you know, what's in a sandwich? Bread, tomato, lettuce, bacon, definitely the bacon. So I've got my bread here. Oh, God, I love this. Hello, friend. Come back every day. All right, so we're just going to cut this bread into like little cubes, little pieces, just like sandwich pieces, because we're going to be skewering them. You don't need too many, just enough. You don't have to, I mean, I like the crust. I'm a big fan of crusts. Jeff, do you like crust on your bread?
I do like crust.
Do your children?
They do not.
It's so funny to me that, like, why are kids like anti-bread or anti-crust? Crust is like my happy place. I don't know. Well, someday we all come around eventually with the bread. And we're just gonna cut the lettuce again into some nice sized pieces here as we build away. All right, tomato, what else do I want? I mean, you could put some cheese. You could definitely put some cheese on there. I'm gonna say no cheese. I'm gonna vote no cheese on this one because we just had some cheese, but you definitely want this. So we're gonna put our Deli fresh oven roasted turkey breast from Oscar Mayer. Like, look how pretty it is. It's all ripped around. All right. Okay, let's see. All right, cut this into pieces. Like you're gonna want to see how it's like ribbony. So I just cut the turkey into half and then I fold them over. So they're like nice bitefuls. It's like tender turkey. Ooh, let's watch our bacon. We do not need any bacon burning. All right, perfect. Is that down? Oh no, that's over. There we go. All right, and then do some more turkey here. Where did I put my knife? There we go. Oh, this is the fun. Now, let's talk about some more like things about like lunches that kids really, all right, like things that are important to kids. So we have the eye appeal. We always want to make sure with every lunch that you're sending, there is a fruit, a vegetable, a protein, and a carbohydrate. At least you know you have done your job. But I always say, put a sweet treat in there. Kids love a sweet treat. And it just like, it shows that, you know, if you put something sweet in there, they're like, oh, mom cares. So that's always like one of my little tips. Now I like to put the tomato at the bottom because it's weighty and it's easier that way to eat. And then we're gonna put a nice little piece of bread here and some turkey. We'll get it going while our bacon is still cooking. Put some nice crunchy lettuce and look, you can fold it up. However you like, so because we don't want it to be like the lettuce to be like flopping over, but you see what's happening here? How cute is this? All right, we're gonna wait. We're gonna do a few of these and we're gonna wait on our bacon. We'll fill those up. So I've got these organic cherry tomatoes. The best part about these is the medley. So going back to it, color, lots of different colors. So we've got the red and some orange. It just makes it fun. Yellow. Anytime that you can buy, especially fruits or vegetables, that have the color, like different colors. That's why I like my Albertsons because I can always find like the baby carrots, I can find the cherry tomatoes, and that they come in these beautiful variety of colors. And again, you don't have to make you can make them any single way that you want. You can like layer them with whatever you want. I told you to do the tomatoes at the bottom, and then what was I doing? I was not doing the tomato at the bottom. I'm like watching the way I did it. I'm like, how did I do it that way? Okay. Put it like this, and then our lettuce. Let's check on our bacon. I mean, it smells absolutely delicious. Okay, perfection. All right, moving that along. All right, throw another question because we're having too much fun with the questions. I like the questions. They make me happy.
Natalie, who shops at Safeway, asks, do you make school lunches the night before or the morning of?
That is a great question, Natalie. So I tend to make school lunch the night before. And the reason is I just like it to be done because, you know, I think a lot of people think that like dinner needs to be the meal that you sit as a family with. But to me, breakfast is such an important meal too. And just having time in the morning to connect with your kids before like everyone's like running around collecting socks and backpacks and lunches. So I make them the night before. I refrigerate them. They stay totally fresh. And it just is a huge time saver in the morning, but you can do it any way that you like. And making ahead things as much as possible also is a huge time saver. So whether that's washing fruits and vegetables, making sandwiches, if you're that person that you like to make homemade dips, you can also do that too. All right, while the baking cools, I'm just gonna fill up the rest of the lunchbox. So this one is some pickle pieces, because when I have a sandwich, you know what I really like with a sandwich? I like a pickle. It just makes me happy. Now these are in spears, but you can also put them whole. But I'm gonna put them in little pieces here. All right, so just put them like that. And we're gonna give them a nice little cut, a little chop, if you will. All right, there we go. And back to school. I mean, there's enough going on with back to school that the last thing you want to think about is the stress of lunches. So it's nice that getting to watch this and coming up with like a few ideas about, new things that you can put into your kids' lunch really helps. It helps a lot. All right, so we've got our pickles here. Get those out of the way. And then I'm going to put in some chips. Where are these chips? Oh my gosh. Popcorners are so delicious. We all sat here munching on them earlier, but just fill your lunch up, because again, this is almost like if we were gonna name them all. This is our deli style lunch. That's what we're making today. It's deli style lunch with a twist. So we actually do those all the time. I'll tell the kids that I'm making like charcuterie. I'll be here all day. Thank you very much. Charcuterie. Or like a Japanese style, an Italian style, whatever kind of lunch you want. So now we've got like chips, pickles, we've got our sandwiches, and a hard-boiled egg. So I do a lot of meal prepping, especially on Sundays. It's my day to just like fill my refrigerator with everything. Hard-boiled eggs always, because it's a great like breakfast or lunch, and they're already done. I just cook them, peel them. Look at that. So nice in there. Perfect. If you want to cook them less time, say like 6-7 minutes, the yolk is going to be nice and jammy in the middle. And if you want to cook it a little bit longer, more hard boiled, you can do that too. And just cut them. I like to cut them in half. And the reason, because it's just very eye catching. It's very, very, very pretty. Very pretty. All right. Put your egg just like that. We're gonna do one more because my daughter loves a hard-boiled egg, and then I inevitably I'll make like enough scraps that I'll sit there and munch on them too. Okay, so we've got the hard-boiled egg there, and then a sweet treat. So you know how I was talking about that earlier? I'm gonna put chocolate chips in this one. Just a little bit of chocolate chips. You could also mix it with raisins or like goji berries or anything like that. But chocolate chips it's like the best sweet treat. Trust me, if you put chocolate chips in your kid's lunch, you could even mix it with cereal, a little bit of like O's in there. You're gonna be a very popular parent. Okay, now that our bacon is cool, we give it a chop and just put a few of those pieces on there. Oh, it's so crunchy and delicioso. Okay, all right. So just put a little bit of that bacon in there, and then just layer a little bit more of that oven roast turkey. Put a little bit more lettuce. Look how pretty, aren't they? And this is like fun. That's fun food. Just put it right in there, everything that you need. Where are my hands? All right, Jeff, let's hear it. What you got?
All right, Sherry from Chicago wrote in. She shops at Jewel Osco.
Oh.
What are some of your best meal planning strategies?
What are some of my best meal planning strategies? So like I was talking about on Sundays, I like to cook ahead as much as I can, because we are a pretty darn busy family, and so there's a lot going on during the week. So I will make as much as I can ahead of time. Sometimes that means I'll make some enchiladas. I'll freeze them so that I can just pop them out of the refrigerator, out of the freezer when I'm ready. I make a lot in our slow cooker. So in the morning, I'll take a cut of meat. I'll make a lentil veggie stew. Anything that I can make like soup stew in the slow cooker is brown rice. I make a ton of brown rice on Sundays to turn into brown rice cakes, into stir fries. Sometimes my daughter loves to take coconut milk and she'll make like a faux brown rice pudding. So she'll sometimes have that as a snack or for dessert. So anytime that you can have foods, like especially, kind of real foods like some pasta and some rice or some kind of vegetables that you can mix and match as the week goes on, that is like a hot tip. Okay, look at us. Now we have, look at that, sandwich on a stick. We've got these chips, which are so delicious, hard-boiled egg, chocolate chips, pickle spear, everything that you want. And believe it or not, cherry tomatoes are a fruit. My kids always are like, is there a fruit in there? They're like, oh yeah, there's cherry tomatoes. If it's got seeds, it's a fruit. So there you go. All right, that's our second lunch. We are going to quickly wheel in lunch number 3 because the fun is not going to stop there. All right. Ooh, let's see. All right, so here we go. Remember how I was cutting that corn on the cob earlier? We're now gonna make a pasta salad. So I think that when you're thinking about lunch, you're often thinking about like sandwich and a lunch, or like your kind of standards. Not over here. I always wanna do something just slightly outside the lunchbox. And so we're gonna make a pasta salad. And why I like having this one is because it kind of like fills 2 things. It's perfect for a lunchbox, but it's also great for dinner. So let's talk about leftovers for a second. When you are making dinner, don't think that you are just making dinner. Always think about what you could be adding to your lunchbox the next day. So that's why this is a awesome recipe for that reason. Now, I've got my water boiling still over here because for the pasta salad, let me move this out of the way. I'm gonna put in our asparagus. So here's a tip for the asparagus. This kind of woody tasting, but asparagus has a natural break in it. So if you just hold it at the bottom and kind of give it a little snap, that is, I bet that if I do this one, it's gonna be around the same, let's see, what do you think? Look at that, literally the same. So then what I'll do after that, so that I don't have to do it for each and every one, I'll put them on their tips like that. I'll take the ones that I had already broken and I'll cut right there because we know that those woody stems are not really edible. We don't want to eat those. And then I'm just going to pop my asparagus literally for 1 minute. We want them to have like some nice crunch to them, have a bite to them. So remember we were just talking about meal prep. So pasta, I always cook ahead pasta every day or on Sundays. I toss it with a little bit of olive oil and that way it stays, separated. And then I'll have it for dinner, I'll have it for lunch. So I'm just gonna put my pasta. I'm gonna actually make some for dinner. While we're here, I'm gonna actually have some for dinner tonight. So I've got the pasta and then I'm gonna put my vegetables in it. So remember I told you about that corn, like I made corn sheets, but then some of the corn just fell off. Look at that. We're gonna put the corn just right in there. So we get that nice color, we've got that sweetness from the corn, and I've got a little bit more here, so I'll just cut the rest off of here. All right. Oh my gosh. Oh, and remember how I told you when the corn cooled, it became even stickier? So that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking, I'm gonna put up corn, this is like a jewel. You find this in a pasta salad and you're like, that is just gorgeous. It is absolutely delicious. So put that in there and I'm gonna put a little bit more corn because I got it, so we're gonna use it. And it is so delicious and sweet and everything. All right, so we've got the corn. We're gonna put some of that in there. And then herbs. Fresh herbs, when you're at your grocery, when I pop by my Albertsons, I always grab tons of fresh herbs because you can use these in all kinds of recipes. You never think, you just give a nice little wipe. And then this is another trick that I love to do. scissors, because let me tell you something. If you take a knife to these, they're gonna fly all over the place. But scissors, I always feel like scissors like a workhorse in the kitchen. And just gonna cut a few. You can do fresh basil, you can do chives, you could do some tarragon, some garlic chives would be delicious, and just chop them right in there. And then we're gonna add some more of those like deliciously sweet cherry tomatoes. Again, like lots of color. And you can also see that a bunch of these ingredients are like workhorse ingredients. You can put them in different things. So really like stretching your dollar as much as possible. So cherry tomatoes, and I'll half them for this just because it gives it, you know, a little nice pop as you're eating them. Oh, Jeff, what you got? I know you got more questions over there.
We got a bunch, yes.
Okay. So
Jason, who shops at Shaw's Market, asks, how do I prepare lunches that need to stay warm?
Jason, that is an amazing question because you are not alone. Not a lot, but there are kids that just say, I only want a hot meal. And they're very like stuck to it. So some schools, some daycares have microwaves. And if you have access to that, make sure you're using a glass container to heat it up. You don't want to have anything like plastic or metal. And the other thing is a thermos. So, you know, one of my kids loves macaroni and cheese. So I'll just put that into a thermos so it's nice and warm by lunchtime. All right, here's that asparagus. You see, I cooked that for 1 minute. So here, look, I want you to see this. It's like super bright green. That's what we want. If you know, I feel like sometimes the reason that kids don't like asparagus is because it ends up looking like brown and mushy. But if you think about like vegetables being like, you don't want them to overcook. You almost like want to undercook them. And let's go back to vegetables for a second. If you have a kid that will always say, I don't want like cooked vegetables. I don't want cooked. I bet you anything they will love raw. So pull out those like, you know, dips and dressings. So like in this recipe, I'm going to be using the Wishbone Italian dressing. It's perfect in this pasta salad. But if your child is like, I really love vegetables and you're trying to encourage them to try new vegetables like cucumbers or carrots, radishes, even turnips, pull out their favorite dressing because putting a little bit in a bowl and letting them kind of dip in it, it's a selling point. They'll be like, oh, wait a minute, why do I love this vegetable so much? Because there's a lot of dressing on it. This was like my childhood. Like this is how I fell in love with vegetables right here. All right, so I'm gonna just give this a little shake. And by the way, outside the corner of my eye, do you want to say hello? You don't have to pull your body. You can just say hello. Oh. There's a goodbye. Little visitors now and then. What's your favorite vegetable?
Carrots.
Carrots. True. Do you like red, orange, yellow, or white carrots, or all of them?
I like orange.
Orange. Do I put carrots in your lunch a lot?
Mm-hmm.
And what's empty usually in your lunch?
Twisties.
The carrots, they're gone. You eat them all.
I love twisty ones.
She loves, oh yeah, I know. Yep.
Don't you know when you get me like the ones that have like boobies?
So sometimes she loves the carrots. Like once in a while, when I buy these carrots, she likes the ones that have when they're like little. She thinks that it's very cute and very funny. She wants the vegetables that have a little personality, a little different. All right. So again, I totally got distracted and sidetracked there. But back to it, pouring lots of the Italian dressing. Oh, I mean, our visitor is like, are you hungry? Yes, I had a feeling. Okay, do you want some pasta salad?
Yay.
Yes, okay, we're gonna have some pasta. I knew there was a reason I was making more pasta salad than what was just gonna be eaten in lunch. So cut this asparagus into nice pieces, so that you can get a bite full, but not too much. There you go. Would you like some asparagus? Okay, would you like asparagus?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, kiss. Bye-bye. I love you. Boop, boop. Okay, you need all the asparagus? I'm not gonna even have any left for the recipe. I know you do. Okay, asparagus going right into the bowl. Look at this. This is like rainbow day over here. So much beautiful, beautiful color. I'm gonna get a spoon and we're just gonna mix this up. Thank you. Okay, amazing. Real life, real world. Okay, so we're just gonna take the dressing. Oh, and a little bit of salt. We just wanna like give it a little zip and zing. Salt, right there, perfect. And just give a little, and this is another thing. While you're here, come on, one more thing. Do you wanna do pinching fingers? Can you show what pinching fingers are? Okay, what are pinching fingers? Does everything taste better when it has a little pinching finger salt?
I love pasta.
I know you do. Okay. I know you do. Okay, so now we've got this and we're gonna fill it up. See how pretty? And that Italian dressing just like coats every single bite of pasta and corn and asparagus. Okay. Here we go, filling it up. And you want to see the vegetables. Like as much as we love the, the bow tie pasta, because we know that kids love some pasta, but you want to make sure that you can see those like little nubs of corn and asparagus and cherry tomatoes and everything on this lunch. Okay. All right, putting it there and there. Okay, see, and even like flip it up just so you can see everything. And again, look at this. I've got like a full lunchbox compartment and I have got all kinds of vegetables in there. All right, then we're gonna fill it up with the remaining. This is something my mom used to do when I was a kid. It is still to this day one of my favorite ways to eat watermelon is watermelon baller. So I mean, look, I've rarely met a kid that doesn't love watermelon, but it is fun to have it, just in these little balls. It makes it really easy to eat. It's like very visual. So whenever you can, if you have a child that's like resistant to any certain food, having it in a shape is a great way to encourage them to eat it. So watermelon, honeydew, or cantaloupe, or anything like that is just, this is always just a win. Okay, and then you can do some little ones too. So I like to take the other side and, we can just fly a few in here. And if you ever, don't throw away the juice. So when you have a watermelon, you've like cut it all up, but there's still a little bit of juice. I'll pour that in a cup and my son will crush that, like absolutely just devour it. Okay. And if there is anything that I keep in our fridge at all times, it is these sweet mini peppers. Not even kidding. My daughter and I watch a show regularly. I will tell her to go to the kitchen and get something that she wants, like a snack, and without fail, she will bring up a bag of sweet mini peppers. It's not exactly ice cream, but kind of, sort of, but they're really good. Tons of vitamins. And look how pretty they are, and they fit perfectly in the lunchbox. We're gonna put in some plantain chips because crunch, deliciousness, salty, color, shape, all of it. Just fun, fun, fun. And then finally, I told you earlier, I love a sweet treat. Little jelly beans, just a few of them. Get those rainbow colors in. That's why, a lunchbox, like a bento box where you can see your choices and you have just this little compartment here. It's perfect. Load it up. Look at that. We did it. I mean, that's really rainbowish. Sometimes I even surprise myself. I get so excited. I am so happy you guys kind of cooked along in my class. It was just so much fun to be with you. Thank you, Jeff. Always fielding the best questions. I'll see you guys soon, and happy back to school cooking.